Hey, what's up, guys, and welcome to Star Wars Real Talk. Today we're going to be talking about Darth Maul. In light of the whole Star Wars The Clone Wars series coming to an end, and at the same time I'm watching Star Wars Rebels, I'm seeing a lot of Darth Maul. In the latest Star Wars Battlefront 2 update, we got a new Maul skin. So everything in Star Wars seems to be bringing a lot of Maul to the surface, and I think that's a super idea because Maul dying in the first episode would have been just tragic for his character. He was so cool, his acrobatic fighting style. He was so flashy, and just in general, he's a really fun character to watch. And thanks to the Clone Wars, we got to see a whole new depth to him, and we actually got to hear him talk, hear his thoughts and his ideas. And throughout the whole Star Wars The Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels, we got to learn more about how his character develops over time, and how he became a crime lord and hated the Sith when at first he was a advocate Sith believer, and how he learns to hate Palpatine, and then in the latest Clone Wars episode when he finally realized what Darth Sidious was plotting with Order 66 being executed, and you just see his reaction. He's like, oh my gosh, this is what I was a part of. It's super cool. So it just seems like Star Wars has kind of been leaning on Darth Maul for good content lately. And that sounds a lot worse than I wanted it to sound. Star Wars is always putting out good content, not including the sequels. But throughout Star Wars The Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels, Darth Maul being there was always that Sith that we were interested in. You know, every time Darth Maul came on the screen, I leaned in a little bit. I started to really listen and pay attention to what was going on, because as someone who grew up with the prequel movies coming out, Darth Maul was just super awesome, right? Like with the toy lightsabers and everything, he was awesome. And just getting to know more of him was really great. And I'm so glad that they decided to go with that in the Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels. And I'm not sure what they're going to do, because they've really played out Darth Maul's story now. There's so much Darth Maul content. Before there was not enough, and now there's like so much. So Darth Maul's someone that you're interested in. He gets almost more screen time now than any of the other Sith. And funny enough, while I just say that there is so much content about him, I feel like I still want more. Like there's so many stories and adventures that Maul goes on as he rises to power. From, he gets his legs cut off, then he gets the robot legs, and he's living in a dump, going mad from his anger, just literally going insane. And then how he rises to be, the ruler of Mandalore, and then how he becomes just a total crime boss. And while there's so much of him in the Clone Wars and Rebels, I feel like there's still not enough. Like, I still want to know more. And that was cool that they included him in Rogue One, just kind of validating him in the animated series, kind of bringing him towards the mainstream movies, which was super cool to see. And the cool thing about Maul is that he rose to places of power not in the traditional way that a Sith ruler would. He kind of did it through, yeah, I'm sure he used the Force to choke some people to get the things that he wanted, but he went about his rise to power in a very human way, just through intimidation, and I'm sure there was lots of negotiating and bargaining. Like, you can see when he's fighting for his life or he's in a bind, he's a tricky guy. He's clever with his words, and he's a little bit cryptic when he's trying to get the things that he wants from people. Like when he's trying to get Ezra in Star Wars Rebels to, help him get the holocron so that he can fulfill his full vision. Like, he's very cryptic. He never quite tells Ezra everything that's going on. He's always got some other angle that he's not telling anybody. And he's just overall a really interesting character to watch. So I wanted to go as far as to titling this video as Darth Maul is something along the lines of him being the lifeblood of Star Wars, or Star Wars leaning on Darth Maul too much. But I don't know if I have any real complaints here. I just think it's great that they did what they did, and maybe George Lucas was like, oh crap, we killed him too early. Could have done so much more with this character. But I'm really glad that they took the time to tell his story. And if you haven't seen Star Wars Rebels, I strongly recommend you see it. I'm going to spoil the end of his character arc now, so you can end the video if you want to. But I think that they gave him a really great send off. You know, the way that he was so obsessed with Obi-Wan and he's just tracking him relentlessly. And then when he ends up on Tatooine and he almost gets bested by the desert itself, you know, coming so close, it just shows just the drive that he has and the obsession that he has with getting revenge or getting equal. Maybe it's not even a revenge at that point. He's so, it's become his sole purpose for so long just to finally exchange with Obi-Wan again. And when he finally does, you're waiting for the most epic battle of all time, the rematch, like the fourth rematch that he has with Obi-Wan, because they fight a few times throughout the Clone Wars, but it's over. It's over in a matter of seconds, because he tries to take out Obi-Wan the same way he takes out Qui-Gon by hitting him in the forehead with the hilt of his lightsaber, but Obi-Wan sees it coming and shuts him down in just a couple swings. And Maul doesn't even seem too upset about the fact that he's lost or that he's going to die. Obi-Wan kind of catches him as he falls, and there's this moment where, I don't know, there's just a lot of honor, there's respect for each other. And in Maul's last words, he asks Obi-Wan about whether he believes he is the chosen one, and he's referring to Luke, because he's aware that Obi-Wan is guarding something or someone. And then Obi-Wan responds with, he is. So Obi-Wan's now believing that Luke was actually the chosen one. You know, he obviously doesn't understand that Darth Vader is going to redeem himself. He probably sees Anakin as a total lost cause at this point. But in Maul's last moments, he says he will avenge us. So he kind of puts them on the same playing field. It's not so much he's mad that he lost Obi-Wan. He just kind of lets it all go. He seems to have a change of heart right at the end. It's not so much about getting even or destroying everybody. It's more so dying in peace and having a still heart, I guess, finishing his race. So I think it was a really noble way to bring an end to such an interesting character. And in the way that Star Wars has been going with killing off characters lately, I think they really did that one right. So anyways, that's my rant about Darth Maul. I don't have any real points or any ending to the story. I just wanted to talk about him. So, thanks for listening in. May the Force be with you.